I got approved with Google AdSense in less than 4 days, but it doesn't come without rejection. Let me walk you through why you may be getting rejected and how you can avoid it so you can get approved to start running ads. And for those that don't know, Google AdSense is the service you want to use if you want to monetize your website or a YouTube channel. And I feel tons of people talk about getting AdSense and applying to AdSense, but they neglect to tell you that rejection is a thing. So I'm here to fill in that gap and let you know a few things before signing up to Google so you don't waste your time and get rejected. So if you're like me, you're probably rushing to get Google AdSense, especially when you first started out. And that's pretty much exactly what I did. Well, I don't want to burst your bubble, but just because you applied doesn't mean you'll get accepted. So if you apply too soon and your website hasn't got enough time to mature, or you just have enough time to build content, you might see a notice that looks like this. And boy, do I have to tell you, it really made my heart sink as I read through that email. So at the time, I think I had about 10 posts with around 800 to 1,000 words on each post, and I had about 24 images spread throughout the post. But getting rejected isn't the end of the world. They encourage you to try again once you resolve some of the issues. So I went back to the AdSense policies to see what I could do to get accepted. I don't work for Google, nor do I know every single criteria that's needed to get you to be approved with AdSense. But these are the few things that I ran across when I was trying to figure out how to get approved with AdSense. Alright, so let's get some of the obvious ones out the way. You have to be 18 or older, you can't have illegal or explicit content, and your content has to be unique, meaning don't steal anybody else's content. The idea can be the same, but the contents can't be exactly the same. Alright, so let's take a look at some common reasons why you would get rejected. The first two reasons are what we already talked about earlier. Your website is too new and or you just don't have enough content on your site. And Google doesn't see enough value or traffic to put their ads on your site. Makes sense. Another reason why your application can be rejected is if you have obscure or deceptive navigation on your site. It might be cool to put your navigation bar at the corner of your site or maybe on the side somewhere, and it might make sense to you, but Google doesn't seem to see it that way. Make sure you put your navigation links where it's visible and easy for your audience to traverse your site. And as much fun as it would be to make a link called "to the moon" as a stock or cryptocurrency price reference, not everyone in your audience is going to understand that, and Google might think it's deceptive depending on the context of your site. So keep it simple, clean, and intuitive. The next reason is pretty cut and dry. Make sure you have the required wording on your site. Google requires you to disclose information about their ads and the cookies that are used when visitors come to visit your site. So you want to create a disclaimer, disclosure, or policy or terms page for your site, and then put that wording somewhere to comply with Google's policies. And I couldn't find direct literature on this reason for this next one, but I have read people having rejected because they don't have a contact page, or at least the ways to contact the website owner. Regardless, it's good practice to have it on your site so that your audience or potential sponsors can contact you, whether it be on the About page or on the footer of your site somewhere. And there are tons of other reasons that are more complicated than these, but I'll try to update my posts on my website whenever I see a new reason to get rejected, so be sure to check back every once in a while if you want to see an update. And if you need an example of all these things I talked about, then go ahead and check out my website and use that example of an approved website. And speaking of approval, this is typically what you'll see when you get approved with AdSense. And when I saw this email, I was ecstatic. I was like, all right, it's time. It's time to make it happen. And this is also my exact timeline from applying and getting approved. So I created my website on October 14th, and then I started to put up some articles, and I did some things that I need to do to get the website prepared for AdSense. So the second time I applied was on October 23rd, and I had 8 pages, 14 posts, the same average amount of words as I did before on each post, and then give or take 33 relevant images or so on my post as well. And then 4 days later, on October 27th, I got approved, which was much earlier than I had expected considering all the horror stories that I've heard and my past experience with rejection earlier. But you should receive an email that looks like this once you're approved. And then at the time of approval, my website has been live for about 2 weeks then, and I had the same number of pages on my site, but you can see that I increased the number of posts. My average wording count also has increased, and I added a few more images and I embedded a YouTube video that I made at the time. So technically, I did get approved in just 4 days. Now, it did take me a few more days to verify my website and make it ready to put ads on the page, So all in all, I was ready to place ads on my site by the 11th day from the time I applied. If you're interested in a step-by-step tutorial on how to apply to Google AdSense and or placing ads on your website, then get subscribed so you'll know when I release that video. Otherwise, there should be a link in the description below if it's already been released. Regardless, you should still subscribe because it's the right thing to do, I think, right? Anyway, just keep in mind that Google's criteria is always changing, so depending on your situation, the application process might be better or worse for you. But here's a tip for you. From the time you apply for Google AdSense, don't stop creating content. You don't know when they'll review your site, and you never know that one extra article you write in between that time could make that difference or whether or not they approve or reject you. So in conclusion, Google's AdSense review process is pretty automated, so for the most part, it's not a team of people who are going around and searching through every single application, which can sometimes make Google's AdSense rejections seem kind of vague. Fortunate for me, I did not have to go through multiple rejections. Unfortunate for you, because I can't give you exact details on how to fix them. With that said, not having Google AdSense isn't the end of the world. There are plenty of other sites that are highly successful without Google AdSense, and there are even some alternatives as well. And I would even argue that in some situations, having your own targeted ads will do better than having Google's ads on your site, like with affiliate marketing. But if you get rejected, don't lose hope. Try to adjust your website to conform to AdSense policies, and eventually you'll find a solution. Apply again, and then cross your fingers. Anyway, I just wanted to share my experience with you guys about Google AdSense, and I'll try to update my article if I find any more useful information that'll help you guys get approved. So don't forget to check my article to see if there are any updates. And if this video was helpful, then hit that like button. And if you want to see more of content like this, then subscribe to my channel. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.